Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I'm going to talk about a camera, specifically a Retina IIIC. So there were two Retina IIICs. This is the 3 large C, and it actually has a C, the same height as the 3 symbol, the Roman numeral 3. But they also came out with some that were the small C. And the large C has a much larger viewfinder. With my glasses, I can see the 50mm frame lines, whereas with the 3C small C, I'm squinting and I'm able to get an idea of the image, but it's certainly nowhere near as big as this one. So this kind of camera is got great sentimentality for me, because the very first camera I ever picked up when I was a kid was a Retina 3C small C that my father had, that he bought while he was in the Army, and he brought it home, and I was sitting in my bed, I remember, for many days trying to figure out what all those numbers mean. And there sure were a lot of numbers, and they were so confusing. And f-stops and shutter speeds and focal lengths and distance scales and depth of field charts, they're all built into that lens. And this lens and this camera was made as a German build that Kodak commissioned them to make. I think they have a German company behind the whole making of this. It's got a Schneider lens on it, a 50mm f2.0. So it's got a pretty fast lens for a camera that when it's folded up, it fits in your pocket, and certainly without the case, it fits really well in your pocket. And even the case, look at the beautiful chrome work that they put on it. Like, they really took care to take to do it right, to do it well. And the fact that these were in cases, and then often people put these in cases, sometimes that's a great indicator of they really got no dust. They were really well taken care of, and they are in such good shape now because of it. So this one is the 3 large C, and when you shoot, and then you wind with this bottom lever. Am I in the right position? In that bottom lever, and that's how you advance it. And there's film in it now because I just picked it up. Of all things, this was at a antique shop, and it was $100, and I couldn't get it to fire, so I was just playing with it. And I wasn't going to buy it. I have no use for another one of these with a rangefinder. I'm sorry, with a for $100 for a small rangefinder like this. And when I couldn't get it to fire, I opened the back, and there was film jammed inside the advanced sprockets, 3 layers thick. And I was like, well, no wonder it's not moving, because there's film jammed in here. And then the person who was selling it happened to be in the store at the moment, and they said, well, we can go get him and show him and talk to him. So I did. I went over and talked to him, and I said, you know, there's film jammed in it. And he had a pair of pliers, and we carefully pulled out the film, and we were able to get the film out, and then it was advancing. But I said, because I don't know about the condition, I'd give you 40. No, actually I said, I'll give you 25, figuring I don't really want to buy it, so I'll just say, you know, 25. And he said, no, I couldn't go any lower than 40. I said, okay, well, for 40, I'll pick it up. Because it's got that great 50mm f2 lens. And like I said, when I put it away, if you don't take it with the case is sweet, but it's also a little bit on the big side. If you take it without that, this fits in my pants pocket. And it's got a 50mm f2 lens, which is unlike a lot of smaller, older cameras where you end up ending up with a 3.5 or a 2.8, or, you know, certainly not anything as fast as a 2.0. So if you find any of these, the 3C, the large C, used to be really pricey on eBay, and you couldn't get them for, they were like on through the roof for prices, and people wanted them. And then the 3 little C was the normal priced one. And now I think these are back to normal prices, and I think you can get these for $100. But if you're interested in a good little pocketable rangefinder, it's quality build, it's got a lot of, you know, history behind it. It doesn't get nearly the attention that the Leicas get, but it's still a really good camera, and it's fun to shoot with, and it has a great, really quiet leaf shutter. I think you can't go wrong with these if you find one at a good price and it's working. Oh, and there's one more trick. When you are testing it, if the counter goes to a diamond just before the 24 mark and just before the 36 mark, there's a diamond. And that diamond is there to stop it from advancing anymore, so that you don't tear your film if you're running out of film. A lot of people think that these are broken because they can't get them to fire or advance. But they're only stuck at that position because they're at the diamond. So if you push this button down next to the counter, and you push this little button over at the same time, if you do those two things, you'll move it to the next exposure. So basically, you can pass the diamond. And once you pass the diamond, it'll work again. So if you're testing it, don't be surprised if somebody says it doesn't work, and it's only because the counter is stuck at the diamond. And you can move it off that diamond, and then you can get it to work, and you can test it to make sure it's working okay. All right, that's today's photography talk. Kodak Retina IIIC. Very first camera I ever really touched. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. What was the first camera you ever touched? If you can support, please hit the Patreon, and thanks so much for watching. We'll talk photography again soon.